Well, hello everyone. My name is Shanita, and I am the founder of Future Focus Coaching and Wellness. And today I want to share a conversation with us all about boundaries, how boundaries are sacred, and they help us to heal from the struggle of overgiving and people pleasing. Now, as empaths and highly sensitive people, we know that story oh too well. How we give the best of us to the wrong people. And today I want to offer us a gentle way forward into helping us not do that anymore. To begin to see ourselves that we are worthy and that we deserve beautiful connections back to ourselves and with other people in our lives. So today I want you to sit back and relax, get you a nice beverage, and let's have an open and honest healing conversation about boundaries and why I feel they are very important to our emotional, mental well being. So, today I want to ask you this. Have you ever said yes to something that your mind and your body were saying, no, don't do it? Well, I certainly have, more times than I can ever count. But when you say yes to those things, as you smile and you agree to the violating that's going on within your spirit, how does that impact you? Share in the comments below how saying yes to things in the past have really served to not make life better for you. Are you having stored up resentment and anger? Is it causing you to slowly but surely feel more invisible? That you are not able to recognize your own self anymore? That you are saying yes to the very things that go against who you are as a person? So tonight, if you have ever said yes to any of those questions, I want to share with you to do a sacred reclaim of boundaries. Because most people believe boundaries are about saying no and putting up walls to close you in. And what I want to suggest to us all today is that boundaries are beautiful bridges that connects us to the things that matter most, connecting us to true love, joy, and freedom. Freedom to be who we are unapologetically, and freedom to express that to the world unapologetically. So I hope you'll sit down and relax and let us have an open and vulnerable dialogue, because I believe that together we can find a gentle way forward. Because when boundaries are weak in our lives, they can wreak a lot of havoc emotionally. Now, have you ever said yes to a social event that you didn't want to go to? Have you ever loaned money to someone and you didn't have all the money and it put you in a financial distress? Have you ever said yes to family obligations out of guilt or shame instead of dealing with your own genuine desires? Have you ever said yes to a relationship request when everything in your gut was screaming, no, don't do it? I have. I have certainly been there. But I'm going to share with you today my process on how I moved myself out of that disempowered state to begin to say, I deserve better and I want better. So let me ask you this. Where in your life do you feel drained instead of nourished? Where in your life do you feel drained instead of nourished? And I want us all to take a moment to really honestly ask ourselves, where in our lives do we feel drained instead of nourished? Answering this question honestly will begin to open the door to see where we need boundaries most in our lives. And I want to offer that I hope you will pay attention to your body's response and the wisdom that it will give you because it knows where you need this energy the most. And it's going to lead you to that place where you can get your needs met and to share with you why it's important that you get that need met. And as I've said before, boundaries are not walls. They are true bridges that connects us to the love that we deserve, that we are wanting in our lives. Because you can't continue this dance of being everything to everyone and nothing for yourself. The overgiving, the people pleasing, and the controlling behaviors create imbalance and instability in all of your relationships. You know the overgiving. When you give and give and give and now you're empty. When you keep sacrificing your emotional well-being for the sake of other people. And the people pleasing when you have your self-worth attached to other people's approval and happiness. And then let's be honest and real here. The controlling behavior that we have sometimes when we attempt to manage other people's emotions so that we can avoid our own discomfort. These are things that we are doing, whether consciously or unconsciously, that we must address and be honest and real about. So if you would, share in the comments. Are you overgiving? Are you stuck in the fawn response of people pleasing? Or are you controlling? Or could it be that you are a little bit of all of them? Let's hold a compassionate conversation in the comments because we're here to support each other. There's no judgment here. This is a safe space for us to release this, for us to become self-aware and to see just how we are impacting our own relationships. Because boundaries matter, and they are our sacred protection. They not only preserve our energy, but boundaries, they preserve our authenticity. Because our energy is the most important thing that on this planet. And being the type of person to protect that energy, to protect our peace at all costs, is now our new assignment. When we have good energy, when our energy is coming from a loving place, we can show up for people so much better because we've given to ourselves what we need first. When I am able to sit in a quiet place, undisturbed, that I've cultivated, and I can close my eyes and go within myself and say, ask genuinely, what do I need today? And then I take inspired action to fulfill that need. I don't judge what comes up. I'm just saying yes. And then I make that happen. When I'm able to do that for myself, that is transformative. I no longer need to connect my self-worth to anyone else's approval. My relationships, they become healthier. They create a genuine space for respect and mutual love. This is why boundaries are so important. Because most people see boundaries as a rejection. But again, we're building bridges. And this bridge turns into an invitation to other people on how to love me well. You're giving people the blueprint on how you like to be respected and loved and appreciated. This is why boundaries matter so much. Protecting your energy, preserving your authenticity, and giving your relationship the health, the vitality, the joy that it needs. And this is how weak boundaries tend to show up in our lives every day. The automatic yes response, the guilt-driven self-care, the one-way caretaking, and the silent resentments. I used to be the one that was the one-way caretaker, always taking care of everybody else, meeting their emotional needs to the detriment of my own. I had the silent resentment show up too. That why can't you be to me what I am to you? If I'm there for you, you should already know that I need help too. But this is where the honest self-reflection comes. They can't be the you to you. When everything you've taught them through your actions has been to discount and dismiss what you need and what you feel. Our behavior modeled that to them. So now we're going to take the time to get honest and to see the hidden costs of being everything to everyone and nothing to yourself. And the three major hidden costs of not having boundaries is the emotional toll, the relational impact, and the spiritual disconnection. Every time you abandon your boundaries, you abandon yourself. You struggle with chronic burnout, irritability, complete loss of self-identity. You're not sleeping well. You're starting to disengage from people. And basically, you're a stranger within your own self. And when all these things begin to happen, it begins to have an impact on your relationships. Because now you're dealing with surface level stuff only. You're not feeling balanced. Sometimes you may be even dealing with a toxic person in your life. But that resentment that you're holding on to, it becomes a poison. And it doesn't connect you to the love that you're seeking, that you deserve. It keeps you further isolated from yourself and everyone around you. It keeps you disconnected from your inner truth, from your values, and the authentic desires that you are hoping and wishing for. So when you ignore the value of boundaries, when you don't enforce or reinforce the boundaries that you have in life, you'll have these consequences and probably some others. Now, we talked a moment ago about how self-worth, the people-pleasing component, is stopping you from having sacred connections. Again, boundaries are not doors. They open hearts because they connect you. They are that bridge. And when we feel like we don't deserve healthy and happy relationships, we will continue to create distance. And that distance, it will begin to erode trust and intimacy in a relationship. But the boundaries, they will begin to actually create the foundation for a genuine and loving relationship. So, whatever you've been conditioned to believe, we've got to start to think about the operating system that's going on in the back of our minds. And that operating system is built on what are your beliefs? What are your values? And how are those beliefs and values playing out in your lives today? And an example of that is when I was growing up, I was always taught that you give and you put other people first. You put yourself last. And so that was years and years and years of conditioning that I had to, A, first become aware of, and B, had to work aggressively to override. And once I did that, I had to put a new script in place. And that script is I will now begin to take care of my own needs and then give out of my overflow. But I must be intentional about taking care of myself first. So when you are able to be honest and take an honest look at how the beliefs that you hold and your core values, what they hold for you, you begin to see the messaging that you've been operating under that you may not even be aware of. So we're going to talk now about boundaries and energy protection because for empaths and highly sensitive people, boundaries are not just about time and commitments. It's about protecting your energy. And as I said before, your energy is everything. Now, as my highly sensitive people know, we absorb everyone else's life. We'll walk into the room. We are a walking Wi-Fi receptor. So I want to share with us some grounding practices, some tools for survival, because boundaries are essential for the life of a highly sensitive person and empath. And so the first practice is to connect energy through visualization, walking barefoot, walking barefoot, or holding, let's see, holding stones. I love going outside and I love putting my bare feet to the ground. I love just sitting in the sun and allowing my face to to feel the rays from the sun. Now, one of the shielding visualizations that I do is I love lavender fields. I love the beautiful purple color of the lavender field. And so what I'll do is imagine a windy day and me just walking with my arms out, touching all of the lavender, smelling it all, feeling the wind on my skin, touching the lavender buds itself, and just being out there in silence and solitude and enjoying the moment. And another thing that, as you can see with the instruments around me, is I use sound therapy. It is a very quick and easy way to clear stagnant energy out of the body, out of my mind. I use so many different instruments. And if you don't have any of these instruments, remember, your voice is your most potent and powerful instrument. Hum, sing, dance. But to move that energy that's heavy and dense out of the body, this is what you want to do. Your energy is your sacred space, and you want to protect it and guard it with all the love that you have within you. Now, the hidden cost to not having boundaries. Here's what no one tells you. And this one, I want you to hear me good because I don't want you caught off guard later. But when you begin to put those boundaries in place and you begin to enforce them and you do it well, some people may not be excited about that. When you stop being everything to everyone and when you start being what you need to yourself, some people will not appreciate that. And they will begin to either put up resistance, and that's when you reinforce your boundaries, and or they will just fade away. So you may find resistance in one of three ways. Initially, people will begin to push back against your boundaries. And think about it. You've been so wonderful at giving them everything they've ever asked for. And to suddenly hear no, it's going to be jarring. But I want you to hold fast and remain committed to your healing. Remain committed to taking care of yourself. And then the next phase is some connections deepen, some may fall away. You will begin to realize who really loves you and who is not as attached to what you used to do for them. People that love you and want the best for you, they will adjust to your new boundaries, but they will do it because they love you. Some people might try and just can't do it. Other people won't even try. But you will begin to see just who is there for you. And then the next phase is the authentic alignment. And you'll begin to see that those relationships that remain, those are the healthier ones. Those are the more genuine ones. And those are the ones that are going to give you that mutually beneficial, respectful, and loving connection. Every boundary may cost you something, but it will never, ever cost you yourself. So as you begin to build and construct your boundaries and then put them in place, I want you to remember that the new you is going to cost you. And I want you to continue to evaluate the cost. Because the new you is going to require you to do things that you may not have done before, but it's going to give you everything you hadn't had before either. And self-respect is priceless. And having that relationship that you desire with yourself so that you can extend that bridge or boundary to other people to say, this is how I love being loved best. That's going to be a new skill. But it is going to be so worth it. And so You have the 4 steps to building sacred boundaries. We're starting with awareness. Where do I most feel drained or resentful? And being able to answer this question honestly is going to give you the clarity that your heart needs. It's going to help you decide what is okay for you and what isn't okay. What can you live with and what can you live without? It's going to help you to build your communication skills because now you will begin to tell people with honesty and compassion, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. This is what I will tolerate, this is what I will absolutely not tolerate. And the last one is consistency. Being able to honor yourself, honor your boundaries, especially when it is uncomfortable. Being able to choose you again and again, to remember why this is so important to me. That you are building your self-respect, that you are constructing that identity, knowing yourself. This kind of clarity, it's wonderful. But the consistent application and practice of it is what will make it sacred for you. Now, I'm going to give you 4 tools, or excuse me, 3 tools to help you deepen that connection with your soul. And the first one is a boundary audit. And I want you to use the link in the description to purchase my Navigating Boundaries journal. And this journal is going to help you to track what you are feeling that is having you drained and leaving you unfulfilled. And for 30 days, you're going to write down the situation, the emotional response, every piece of information that you are willing to share and write down. Because this journal helps to guide you toward the self-respect that is needed to not only build these boundaries, but to enforce and reinforce consistently. So make sure you get your copy of Navigating Boundaries. It's my guided journal, and it is truly just a wonderful resource to keep for you. And the second one is the sacred pause. Now this is going to help you in real time, in real examples. So when someone makes a request of you, before you say yes or no, take 3 deep breaths. And inside, ask yourself, do I truly want to do this? And whatever answer your spirit gives you, you must be committed to following through without any judgment. So pause, ask yourself, do I really want to do this? And then honor what your internal guidance shares. And the last one is to reframe your no. And what do I mean by that? Now, I want you to remember that every no is actually a bigger yes. It's a yes to something that matters the most to you. Boundaries help us to say yes. It opens the door to having those things that we want to connect to come to us. And now we are emotionally capable to meet the moment. We are physically able to do it because our bodies are not locked down by all that unnecessary stress and resentment. and we get to better experience, to be proactive about life and not be reactive. So, your boundaries journey, when you're writing in your navigating boundaries journal, it's not just about you, a pen, and a piece of paper. This is you and your emotional training ground. You are asking of yourself self respect. You are telling yourself, I'm here, I'm committed, I'm willing to do what I need to do so that we can be better, feel better, and have better. So let me ask you, my friends, where in your life do you feel drained instead of nourished? Are you ready for your sacred yes? Because it's waiting for you. For every healthy boundary that you set, it's not just a no that you say to someone else. It's a sacred yes to you. It's a sacred yes to your truth, to your peace, and to your joy. Your worthiness of relationships do not have to be tied to other people's approval. It doesn't have to be tied to past guilt or shame. Begin to examine those beliefs and values that are operating in the back of your mind unconsciously, that are driving you to feel disempowered. And when you become self aware, when you sit and answer those questions honestly, where in my life do I feel drained instead of nourished? Your heavens will begin to open. The information that your body will share with you. That is what you write in your journal. And when you know better, you will begin to do better. But remember, there is a new you being called forth, and it's going to require you to do new things. Are you ready to say yes to being different, to having different? Boundaries are bridges that teach others how we prefer to be loved. They're not walls. It's not a rejection. But protecting your energy, protecting the love that's in your heart, that part of you that wants to be good for the world, you must protect that. And boundaries are a sacred way to do that. And you sharing with yourself what you like and what you don't like, what you will put up with, what you won't put up with. I hope that you can have that honest dialogue with yourself. And you can take that honesty and you can put it in action. Because that's telling your body, your mind, your spirit that you have your best interest at heart. And the more you practice that, the more it will become easy to share with other people. And let me tell you, people that really love you, people that have your best interest at heart, they want to know these things. They want to know the rules of engagement with you because their spirit wants to honor yours. So I want you to remember that. Remember your why. And remember that you can remain rooted and connected with me. I recommend signing up for my newsletter. And you can go to www.imfuturefocus.com and sign up for my free newsletter. You get one email from me a month, and it comes out on the first of every month. You are welcome to email me, Shanita at IamFutureFocus.com. You can go to my Instagram and Facebook pages and remain connected that way. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page. There are wonderful ways to stay rooted and connected because this community that we are building together, we will be the empowered empaths. We will be the empowered, highly sensitive people that heal from the inside out. You love making a difference in people's lives. You love being of service to people. I love that for you. My wish for you is that you do it from an empowered place, that you are giving from your overflow, and that you no longer sacrifice your wants, your needs, your emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual well-being to do that for others. There are links below in the description that'll give you to my Amazon page. Please feel free to get the journal and begin your 30-day journey now. I can almost guarantee that after 30 days, you do those exercises, you will know so much about you in such an honest and loving way. It's a journey I've taken. It's a journey that other people have taken and that they enjoyed the journey. And you are welcome to come back to that at any time. Boundaries are sacred. They are bridges to the very things that we hold dear. Love, freedom, and joy. And you deserve it, and I believe that you will have it. I really appreciate you sharing your time today. May you be happy, and may you be well, and may love always find its way to you. Bye, friends.